Hello, this is Robert Kiyosaki. I'm standing with Ken Mcroy. He's one of my best friends. He's also a fellow teacher. He's the author of Rich Dad's Advisor Series, the ABCs of Real Estate Investing, and we're also real estate partners. And one thing I love about Ken, he's made me a millionaire many times over, and so it's a great relationship here. And Ken will be working with me along with a bunch of other advisors for those of you who are interested in raising capital for real estate specifically, because that's what Ken's niche is. So it's a 3-day workshop, How to Raise Capital, the #1 skill of an entrepreneur, May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in Scottsdale. And Ken, this market today is kind of different with real estate now, financing and all that.
Yeah, well, there basically isn't any, as you know, for most kinds of real estate. So, what we'll be talking about in the seminar is some of the creative things that we've been able to do, to be able to raise money in this economy.
And there's also guys like Wayne Palmer, who's Mr. Creative Financing and all this, when it comes to putting a deal together, because it's just your #1 skill right now. If you know how to raise capital, you can put a deal together. If you don't know how to, you're in trouble, right?
Right, which I'm really excited Wayne's coming because he approaches it from the note side,
Right.
which a lot of people are looking at now too. So he's going to bring that whole skill, which is part of having everybody like that on your team.
Right. So what I want to ask Ken to talk about today is that this whole program on how to raise capital, the theme is very much the same, is that in the world of business and people wanting to raise money, like a lot of people want to raise money for a small business, and these people generally get what's called an SBA loan. And those are getting tough to get also.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. And there's also real estate investors who invest from the small side, and they're looking for foreclosures and
anything they can flip again,
or
appreciation based,
right. And a lot of these guys, they're really excited if they get 1 or 2 properties, or they get a duplex and they think they're Donald Trump or something like this. This program is not for these people, okay? Because Ken, the whole theme of our program, How to Raise Capital, is first you have to design a well-designed business that invests. So the Rich Dad Company is the same right here. We're a well-designed company, and I invest with Ken in real estate. Ken has MC Companies, which is a well-designed company, and he acquires real estate. Is that correct?
Right. That's right. And over here, what you're seeing right now are the business people putting together pools of money to sell these guys these individual houses. So these guys are the ones go to the banks, and put together pools of real estate to sell them here. So, you want to be here.
Right. So that's really the theme of the 3-day program in Scottsdale, is that what makes us unique is here. There's a lot of people offering classes on foreclosures and fixing up and stuff like that, or short sales, but that's not our niche. Ken has a fantastic company, MC Companies, right?
Yes.
And you guys develop real estate?
Yeah, we build real estate, so we have the ability to build it from the ground up as a general contractor, but we buy it, and of course the most important piece is we manage. So we have a management company as well here.
Right. What Ken is talking about management was something he taught me, is that to be successful on this side, as a real estate investor, you have to have good partners. That's why Ken and I are partners. And you also have good financing. And Ken is a whiz at financing. The team is great at financing. But today, this one is coming up, the toughest, I think, is management. And Ken has a property management company. And how many properties do you have under management today?
45 different properties, just under 12,000 units.
12,000 units.
Yeah.
So, and then what Ken was saying to me, now that the big banks like Lehman, they're gone. Excuse me.
That's right. Lee who?
Lee who? You did some business with them, right?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
They gave you some money, didn't they?
Yeah, I call and there's no answer.
Anyway, the big banks today, when they're looking at who they're going to finance, they're looking at companies with this right here. Do you have a property management division, right?
Yeah, in fact, we've been told specifically, what happens is that when the economy's doing very, very well, the management piece is kind of overlooked, and people really focus on these two things. But when the economy's bad, this is what's getting all the attention right now.
Right. So if you don't have a good management company, you don't have a good financing department, you don't have good partners, and you don't have good talent on board right now, it's tough to get financing for the bigger projects. So Ken's specialty during the 3-day on how to raise capital is really how you build a business that acquires large portfolios of real estate. And even when the banks turned you down, right, you were buying those properties in Texas.
Yeah.
They said, no, there's no, because this is when it was really bad. So what Ken did, if I understand you right, they wouldn't sell you the property, so you bought the business, right?
Yeah, we bought the company. So, I mean, it's just another strategy, you know, and we knew that we also weren't going to be able to get any financing, as you know. So what we did is we bought the business, and then we used seller financing.
Yeah, he bought the business to acquire the property here.
Right.
So this is the way. I mean, the real estate market is tough for those who are not really good at business. And how many years have you been in business with real estate now?
20.
20.
Yeah, 20 years. And really, where we make all the money continually is here.
And this gives them the steady cash flow and all this from the properties, as well as the income from the properties. So that'll be Ken's specialty. He'll be talking how you design and build a business that acquires real estate. And that's a very big, different point of view from these guys here who are looking for, you know, a flip or here or some little seller financing and stuff like this. It's a very big difference. And there'll be other people like Scott McPherson. I mean, Scott is the biggest mortgage guy in the state of Arizona. He'll be speaking there, as well as Wayne Palmer, who is a notes guy. He's a specialist there. So there'll be a bunch of other people coming with creative financing ways to acquire property. But there's one thing that all of the speakers have in common, or most of them, should I say. Some are attorneys, so they're a different breed of cat. But the difference is even Wayne Palmer has a business that acquires property.
Yes. Right, but it only does well if he has good management.
Right.
That's the thing, and that's what's starting to show up now, as you know,
right.
Is the difference between the professional managers and maybe the unprofessional managers, you know, are floating to the top.
So the professional management companies, the well-run companies, will be acquiring more of the property. So it doesn't make a difference if you're like me, who is manufacturing board games and things like this. I still have a business that invests in property with a partner like Ken. But Ken also has a business, MC Companies, that acquires real estate, which I invest in. So he raises a lot of capital for me, right?
Yes, and I think what happens mostly in the S quadrant is one of the biggest mistakes is they focus on the idea as opposed to the management.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing that we see. This is where it stops.
Right.
Is buying the single family house.
Right.
But this is really where it's made.
Right. So that's a lot of the business, a well-designed business, because it's an entrepreneurship. Ken's an entrepreneur. In fact, he's head of the EO now. He invited me to speak at their conference, and I speak to the entrepreneurs about what a screw-up I am and how I still make money.
But everybody laughs because they've all done it too, right?
Yeah. Most entrepreneurs have a couple of skeletons in the closet.
Right. If you don't, then you're not human.
Yeah, so we're not about flipping and doing the small deals and all this. So even if you're just starting out, never invested in real estate, please come and attend the 3-day program in Scottsdale, Arizona. My wife will be speaking especially to the women, because my wife started off with a small 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, and today she's a pretty big property owner.
She owns a lot of property.
And then my wife Kim invests because she owns a business first. So again, just starting out or a seasoned pro, I think you'll find the 3-day in Scottsdale, Arizona. How to raise your capital, number one skill of an entrepreneur, whether it's for businesses or real estate. There's really not much difference. It's really about being an entrepreneur. And it's May 1st, 2nd, 3rd in Scottsdale, $5,000. Again, there's always a discount for early sign-ups, but also for people who have come to our other 3 days, and especially for our valued insiders out there. So I think this is the most important workshop at this time, because
this is where it all is right now.
Yeah, right now, this is the key to success.
There is no financing.
Yeah.
This is it.
So Rich Dad stays in business because we know how to raise capital automatically. Ken's business raises capital automatically. We still struggle, but we don't go bust like the other companies do. So there's a very big difference, and it is management, how well you design the business, and how you put it together. So again, all you guys out there, for 2009, unless you're expecting Obama to bail you out, this is the place you have to be, right?
Yes. See you there.
There's lots of cash, but not much credit today. So that's why raising capital is the most important thing. See you there.